Hey there, NFL fans. It's your host with the most here, Rai, and that time again for the NFL picks for week number 12. Now, before I do that, NFL fanatics, I'm going to tell you how I did last week in week number 11. So wait for it. I was 9 wins and 5 losses. Not bad at all. Back-to-back weeks. I did that in week 10 and in week 11. So I hopefully in week 12 I do way better in the last 2 weeks. Wish me luck. So we're going to kick this off tonight for a Thanksgiving special. Okay? There are 3 games on. Now, back in the day, probably a lot of you, or maybe you do know, that there's only 2 games on Thanksgiving. Detroit is always home. Same thing for Dallas. Then, I think a few years later, or I don't know when it happened, they decided to put a 3rd game, a night game, for a Thanksgiving game. That's good, isn't it? So, let's get this started for the Thanksgiving special picks. Okay, there's only 30 of them, like I said a few minutes ago. First thing first, Detroit Lions will be at home versus the Minnesota Vikings. Now, these 2 teams play each other twice. Very rarely they play 3 times if they meet in the playoffs, or if they make the playoffs. Either or. I'm going Detroit. Detroit is clicking on all cylinders. But on the other hand, the Minnesota Vikings, they won last week. Is that going to help them to win the division? Maybe, maybe not. They lost their starting running back. I don't know when he's going to come back. They lost some key players on offense and defense. The quarterback they got from Philly, he's not a legit quarterback. That means he's not very good in my eyes. Sam Bradford, but he gets injured a lot, like all the quarterbacks out there in this era. So once again, I am going with Detroit. Next game will be the Thanksgiving afternoon game. The Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys on a 9-game winning streak. They only lost 1 game, 9-1. That's insane. They're at home versus the rival, the Washington Redskins. I am going with Dallas. Dallas is clicking, like I said a few minutes ago, with a rookie quarterback, with a rookie running back, and the other guys are just clicking. Can that happen to other teams? Maybe. Maybe not. So that is all I'm going to say in that department. So I'm going with the Cowboys. Next one, this is the last game for Thanksgiving. It is the night game for Thanksgiving. The Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Indianapolis Colts. Colts are their home game. I'm going with the Colts for an upset pick. Colts just like a up and down kind of team, like a roller coaster. I don't know if they want to win the division or not. You know, Andrew Luck is a pretty good quarterback. They need some help. They don't have no running game. They can't protect the quarterback. He gets sacked a lot. So if the Colts gonna win the division, they're not gonna go far in the playoffs. I could be right. I could be wrong. But that's another discussion. Okay, other games will be on Sunday and Sunday night and Monday Night Football. So let's continue here, shall we? Okay, the Atlanta Falcons will be at home versus the Arizona Cardinals. Now the Arizona Cardinals are very, very a good team, or pretty decent. They're struggling to score a lot of points. So I'm going with Atlanta Falcons. I think they were undefeated at home. Not really too sure. They come off a bye week. They were off last week, so they should be all rested up and kick some butt in the second half for them. So I'm going with Atlanta. Next matchup, The Buffalo Bills will be at home versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Buffalo is trying very hard to push for the playoff position. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going with Buffalo. Next matchup, the Tennessee Titans versus the Chicago Bears at home. Now, probably you guys know what's going on with the Bears. Bears are having a very, very bad year. But I'm still going to watch the rest of the games. Jay Cutler, he's out for the rest of the season. What happened this past Sunday, injury, so they had to play their third string quarterback because the backup to Jay Cutler, he's out for the rest of the year. I know, injuries. They lost their tight end. He's out for the year. See? Injuries are killing the Bears this year, but injuries shouldn't really make a big difference for the Bears, but it happens in the NFL. I'm gonna watch it. If they lose the rest of the games, so be it. They gotta think about the future right now. I'd be shocked if the Bears win at home, but on the other hand, Tennessee is trying to make a playoff push this late in the season. So once again, I'm going Tennessee. Watch, the Bears will win and mess up my NFL picks like that one time. Okay, next game, the New York Giants, Eli and company versus the winless Cleveland Browns at home. Now, there's a slim chance that Cleveland could beat the Giants, but on the other hand, it's not going to happen. Giants on a 5-game winning streak. They beat my Bears this past Sunday. It was not really a blowout. They only won by 7 or less. It's still a good game, but I was very disappointed the Bears can't win this game. They blew it, but I'm not mad, but I'm just disappointed on the Bears, how they perform. I forgot to mention 2 guys for the Bears got suspended for 4 games, so that's gonna hurt. I think they did it on purpose because they said in their head, hey, this team's not gonna go anywhere, let's just do something stupid off the field, and they did. They got busted. That's just my theory. Okay, next game will be the Miami Dolphins will be at home versus the San Francisco 49ers. Speaking of another crappy team, is the San Francisco 49ers. A couple of years ago, they were in a freaking Super Bowl. Now, they're a crappy team. I think because they don't have a very, very good coach. This coach they have right now, he's a college coach. Go back to college. From my point of view, some college coaches could jump over to the NFL. Some other coaches can't do that. Their mind only set on one thing: college or pro or maybe both. So I'm going with Miami. Miami Dolphins are trying very, very hard to get in the playoffs. I know I mentioned it with other teams, but Miami is the real deal. Okay, for right now, knock on wood. Next matchup, Drew Brees will be at home versus the Los Angeles Rams. I'm going with the Saints. You can never ever, not never, but you cannot really go wrong with the Saints, especially at home. They're very good at home. I think they're undefeated late in the season. I'm not really too sure. Okay, next matchup, the Baltimore Ravens will be at home versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, a lot of people thought that Baltimore will beat Dallas Cowboys, but it did not happen. So I'm going with Cincinnati for an upset pick. Next matchup, the San Diego Chargers versus the Houston Texans will be in Houston. I'm going the Chargers. Next matchup, the Seattle Seahawks versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay will be at home. I'm going Seattle. Seattle is a very good team, but I'm not too sure if they are a very good road team. Road Warriors. Next matchup, the Oakland Raiders will be at home versus the Carolina Panthers. Now, the Oakland Raiders are 9-2. That's insane, isn't it? That's awesome. They're doing great for the first time in a long time. I think that I think the last time they had a good season was 2002 when they went to the Super Bowl in the Rushers' history. You know what happened in that Super Bowl. I'm not even gonna mention that. Sorry, Oakland fans, if you're listening. Anywho, but they have a lot of championships in their history, so that'd be great if they could make a run. There's an article in the paper or online. They say Oakland Raiders are not Super Bowl contenders. Oh, please! They just want to read. They just want to read. I mean, they just want to write the article and piss off Raider fans, you know. So I'm going with the Raiders. They are very good at home. They're clicking on all cylinders, and let's see where they go from here. You know what I'm saying? Carolina is trying very hard to survive in this season. They had a very, very rocky start in the beginning of the year. So I'm going with Oakland. Next matchup, Tom Brady and the New England Patriots versus the New York Jets. Jets will be at home. This is a division rival. I think this is the second meeting they met. I think they met earlier this year. So I'd be shocked if the Jets win. But on the other hand, Tom Brady is very awesome. I know a lot of people, maybe some of you, hate him with a passion, but he's so darn good, you know. But if he's with my team, I'd be happy. If he's with your team, he'd be happy, you know. He's good, but Belichick and Tom Brady have great chemistry together. Maybe that's why he's good. And I know you say he cheats. Hey, I'm not even gonna discuss it. Don't even bring it up on these my picks. Case closed. Okay. Now, for Sunday Night Football, the defending Super Bowl champions, the Denver Broncos, will be at home versus the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going with that upset here. Kansas City, they've been on a roll lately. But on the other hand, Denver is. Someone's got to win. Someone's got to give there. I don't think Denver is good like they used to be, like last year, because Peyton Manning was the leader. And I don't think Denver is making a good impact. I mean, I could be right. I could be wrong. Who knows? Probably when it comes to crunch time, before the playoffs start, then they will make a run for the playoffs, Denver. But right now, I think it's going to be Kansas City. Don't let me down, Kansas City, for an upset pick. Okay, for Monday Night Football, the Philadelphia Eagles will be at home versus the Green Bay Packers. What the heck happened to Green Bay? I don't know. This is not the Green Bay that I used to not watch, but used to watch highlights of them when they were down by 20 points and then came back out of nowhere to win. Last Sunday, they got their buck kicks against Tennessee Titans. Really? They give up 45 points. That's insane. So I'm going with Philly. I think Philly is very good at home. So I'll be shocked if Green Bay wins. But on the other hand, I will not be shocked because Green Bay is very, very in bad shape. They got kicking in gear. They want to make a run for the playoffs. Hello, or the division. If they want to catch up to Minnesota or the Detroit Bears in last place. But that's okay. I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. Okay. Those are my picks. That's my recap. And last but not least, NFL Fanatics. Let's see about the percentages. Starting off with the 3 games for Thanksgiving. First thing first, Detroit, Minnesota. 68% Detroit, 32% Minnesota. Dallas, 88% Dallas, and 12% Washington. Pittsburgh and Indianapolis, 83% Pittsburgh and 17% Colts. Atlanta and Arizona matchup, 90% Atlanta. 10% Arizona. Okay, my bad. Buffalo and Jacksonville matchup, 97% Buffalo, 3% Jacksonville. Tennessee and Chicago matchup, 84% Tennessee, and Chicago only 16%. Wow, they even give them a slim chance to beat Tennessee. Okay, Giants and Cleveland matchup, 96% Giants and 4% Cleveland. Miami and Niners matchup, 95% Miami and 5% Giants. I'm sorry, that's a thing about baseball. My mistake. The Niners, San Francisco 49ers, 5%. Saints and the LA Rams matchup, 95% Saints and 5% Rams. Okay. Baltimore and Cincinnati matchup, 85% Baltimore, 13% Cincinnati. Next matchup, Chargers and Houston matchup, 42% Chargers and 58% Houston. Seattle Tampa Bay matchup, 93% Seattle, 7% Tampa Bay. Oakland and Carolina matchup. Okay, 82% Oakland and 18% Carolina. Okay, Tampa. Sorry, I messed up there. My bad. Patriots and Jets matchup, 97% Patriots and 3% Jets. And for Sunday Night Football, Denver and Kansas City matchup, the defending Super Bowl champions so far, until they get, if they don't make the playoffs or they get knocked out in the playoffs. Denver, 78% Denver and 22% Kansas City. And last but not least, for Monday Night Football, Philly and Green Bay matchup, 74% Philly and 26% Green Bay. So that wraps it up, my NFL fanatics. I'm going to say it again. So those are my recap for Week 11, my new picks for Week 12, and the percentages on these games for Week 12. So, happy Thanksgiving for all the NFL fanatics in the U.S. I don't think you celebrate in the U.K. If you do, happy Thanksgiving. Sit back, enjoy your Thanksgiving meal, watch these awesome games. Hopefully none of them are blowouts. If they are, that will suck. Let me know who you picking on these Thanksgiving games and other ones that I mentioned. You can tell me on Facebook if you're a member, if you are friends of me on Facebook, email, or down below. However you find this NFL picks for Week 12. Thank you very much, and once again, happy Thanksgiving. From your friend here, host of the most here, Rai. For all of my friends who live in the United States, happy Thanksgiving. This is Rai, sign off, and I'll see you in the next edition of the NFL Picks, and that'll be Week 13.